This morning, the final part of our series on child exploitation. Today, the investigators who have dedicated their lives to these cases offer advice to other parents on how to protect their kids from becoming victims.
Brandy's here this morning, and if parents haven't watched the other parts of this series, that's okay, because really, Brandy, you're saying this is the most important information to take away from this.
Yeah, if you didn't watch anything else, this is definitely the one to catch for parents, and it's because, as we said, these investigators, a lot of them have been doing this for a long time, but they've also been raising kids simultaneously, and so they've been able to take what they've learned, unfortunately, through these cases and apply it to their kids and how they raise them. And so we were hoping that they could offer some really good advice for parents out there on how to protect their kids. And like it or not, it starts with their cell phones.
I can't think of any bigger threat in their day-to-day lives. Not one.
This allows millions of people to have access to your child without your knowing it. Literally millions.
When is the last time you looked at your kid's phone? Look to see what apps they're using and why.
That particular app that takes that picture and deletes it in 10 seconds, why is it your child needs that? Along with those apps are people who are looking for kids and know how to exploit those kids.
There may not be two better people to offer that warning than Seattle Police Captain Mike Edwards and King County Senior Deputy Prosecutor Cecilia Gregson, both part of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
I am asking the court to impose a 38-month prison sentence.
They've dedicated their lives to cases involving child exploitation, but more importantly, they are also parents.
My children don't have access to devices that are unlimited. They will not be allowed to have applications.
Among all the cases they see, they say there is one type that should be the most concerning to everyday teens and their families.
And it's an emerging trend where the numbers are growing.
It starts with someone contacting your child on one of those apps or social media accounts, where truly predators can pretend to be anyone. Before long, they start making requests.
Getting the preteen to take a self-exploitive image and then really extorting that child.
Once the predator has one image, they use it as leverage to get more and more, often threatening to post it publicly if they don't get what they want.
And they really get into this devastating pit.
Even to the point of the child committing suicide.
Yes. I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
It can get that extreme.
As investigators and as parents, it's a question they get from other parents often.
What do I do? How do I protect my child?
You do need to be involved.
Sergeant Carlos Rodriguez is with the Washington State Patrol's Missing and Exploited Children Task Force.
Okay, sir, have a seat.
They track down and arrest child predators, work that has changed the way he parents his teenagers.
It's made me, I think, a better parent, and just looking out for kids as a whole. When you see what's out there.
One of the conversation pieces with children needs to be, if someone has convinced you to do something that you wish you hadn't, you are not going to be in trouble with me if you tell me that you need help because this person's going to send this image to all your friends on Facebook.
You need to have the conversation, just like, if I were to ask you, what do you do before you cross the street?
I look both ways.
Right. You need to have the same type of conversation with this, with what's on the internet, what's out there.
Basic 101, be a parent.
Just be a parent. And in case you missed the other parts of our series, you could find them on our website, Q13Fox.com. And also, in case you didn't know, the Washington State Patrol's Missing and Exploited Children Task Force, which we've documented throughout this series, they run in part by donations from the public. So if you're interested in doing that, you can find a link on how to help them out with the really important work that they're doing. And it's different than when we were kids, right? We used to be on like AOL chat rooms. I don't know if you guys were, but on AOL chat rooms in your house where your parents could maybe see the computer screen. But you have a lot of kids out there who carry these cell phones around everywhere, and they could be sitting across from the kitchen table with you, chatting with a predator on one of these apps and not even know who they're talking to.
What are the apps they don't want you to? What are they have to have recommended apps to stay away from?
Well, there are some, and you heard Captain Edwards say, that app that you take a picture and it deletes in 10 seconds. Why do you really need that? Of course, we know Snapchat is similar to that, and I have Snapchat and I use it for work. But if you're talking about kids when they're being exploited, and maybe they, think it's a cute boy or a cute girl, and they send them some sort of suggestive photo, that person keeps that photo and then uses it to extort them. That's happening all the time. It's happening more and more often to kids everywhere. And so that's concerning. And then apps like Kik, for instance, where, you're kind of anonymous. It's like a messenger app on your phone where you can talk to anyone. You don't have to use your cell phone or your data to talk to them. That's concerning to them, too, because you're talking about someone who can be anonymous. So they said whether your kids are going to like it or not, which they're probably not, there has to be some trust. But you need to make sure that you're looking at each app on their phone and deciding, is there any value in that app to my child's life? And if no, maybe they shouldn't have it.
Yeah, the parents, you have to be a parent, as he said, and, not the best friend. You're not the best friend. You have to parent in
Yeah,
these
and I don't
situations.
have kids, so I don't know how tough it is. So you decide what works for you, but there's some advice from those
Yeah,
investigators.
it's good advice, Brandy.